Well, he's in the barn. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Dillon with ChaseTheSummit.com, and this is the fourth episode in my series following my training up to my first 100-mile ultramarathon. I really need to get some more stuff for back here, don't you think? If you're new here, make sure you jump back and watch the other videos so you kind of get caught up with the whole story. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe down below, hit the bell, and go over to ChaseTheSummit.com to see more content like this. I also wanted to mention, in the process of training for this race, I'm also raising money for a great foundation called the Vermont Adaptive. The Vermont Adaptive is a unique foundation. What they do is they raise money to train, educate, and build specialized equipment for disabled people to enjoy the outdoors. So please go check that out, and if you feel generous today, definitely donate whatever you can. Moving on, today is July 8th, so that means a couple of things. First off, I'm turning 35 years old in 2 days. It's my birthday. I wonder if that puts me in a different race age bracket. Second, it means that the Vermont 100 race is only 12 days away. Yikes. So rolling back a little bit, in the month of June, I hit it pretty hard. June 1st, I had a 50-mile race, which I did really well in, and I felt awesome. I have a video on that, link in the description. I covered about 220 miles on foot. That's a mixture of both pavement and trail. I tried to focus a lot on trails. I had a couple of great days in the mountains, getting some real steep vertical in. And all in all, I trained about 40 hours. So for some elite athletes, 40 hours might not sound like a lot, but that's actually a record for me. All in all, I'm pretty proud of the effort I put in June. I'm feeling really strong and it's paying off. What's crazy is when you get to this certain point of training, it's almost like you don't need to recover anymore. Like I went on a 27-mile run a couple of weeks ago, and the next day I was ready to put another 10 in without feeling much pain or feeling tired at all. Not trying to toot my own horn here, but it is really cool to kind of see the training pay off, see things progress. It's really exciting for me. I've also shed a few pounds, which was kind of a secondary goal. I wanted to get down to a race weight. I know a lot of ultra runners don't really focus on weight too much. I try not to, but at the same time, a couple of pounds off my body is a couple of pounds less I'll have to carry for 100 miles. So it's really all about functionality and not really about glamour. I do care what I look like, but at the same time, it's really for performance. I'm down to a solid 145 pounds. For reference, I'm 5'7". Despite all the confidence my body's been giving me and the training starting to pay off, I'm still extremely nervous for the Vermont 100. It's something I think about all the time. The fear of failure is real. I've really put a lot of pressure on myself, and this video is probably not helping. It's like, I know I'm gonna finish the race, but I also have this lofty goal of getting below 24 hours. I'm also hoping I have enough hay in the barn to make this kind of a pleasurable experience. Everyone kind of expects ultramarathons to be a miserable experience that you just kind of suffer through, but they don't have to be. I mean, my last 50, I actually kind of enjoyed. Why else would we do it, right? I mean, there's a lot of payoff and satisfaction in the end, but yeah, I had fun there. So I'm hoping I can kind of enjoy the race, or at least get through the first half and have fun. So some of my friends have offered to help me out, crew and pace, and I'm still doing this solo. I love that they want to help me, but it's something I want to do by myself, I think. My wife also offered to come up and spend the day there to kind of cheer me on. But even that, I just would feel a lot of pressure having her there. And I love that she'd want to be there and support me, but it's also something I'm not sure would help. With her there waiting for me at the different aid stations, I'd feel like I need to get there quicker. It might affect my pace. It might affect my mental stuff, you know? Mental stuff? I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm kind of a weird dude. On the upside, my wife did get me a hotel room as a birthday gift for after the race, so I won't have to sleep in my car after running 100 miles. So, only 12 days left. It's time to taper down, let my legs heal up, and get ready for the race. But for the next 6 days or so, I might continue running, but at a very low effort. I might even just go for some walks on the trails. And then for a solid 5 days after that, I'm gonna do nothing. This is probably controversial, but I feel if I do nothing for a few days before a race, I let everything heal up completely and I'm ready to go. So, starting to get real. Lately here in New England, it's been over 90 degrees every day. And that's a little concerning. I'm not sure if I'd rather be in a torrential downpour and have to deal with like all the chafe issues that come with that, or be in this unbearable heat that will just crush me and send me to a crawling pace. I really don't know which would be better. Comment down below and let me know what you'd rather run in. Anyways, I'm hoping Mother Nature gives us a little relief and maybe we get like an overcast day or just cooler temps. Parts of the course are at about 2,000 feet of elevation, so that might help out a little bit. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot is how I'm gonna control my pace. All the veterans of this race that I've talked to keep trying to drive the fact home that you need to control yourself early on in the race. I don't want to gas myself out, so after 50 miles, I can't walk. This is kind of a struggle for me. Typically at shorter races like 50 milers, I tend to bank miles early on in the day and then kind of just ride it out. Banking miles kind of helps me mentally too, because you kind of get this early lead. I mean, I'm not winning the race, but even if I'm top 20 or something and I feel like I'm in front of the pack, it helps me mentally think, hey, you know, I'm doing pretty good. But it's a gamble because later in the race, when I can't run anymore, I'm getting passed by all these people and it's just soul crushing. With 12 days left, I've been trying to strategize a little bit on what I'm gonna put in my drop bags and where I'm gonna place them. There are strategic aid stations that allow drop bags for solo runners. I think I'm gonna use 3 drop bags, maybe 4. I'm gonna rely heavily on gels. I like these. They're pretty tasty. They've got a little caffeine in them. Link in the description. I don't know. So instead of carrying like 20 gels all over my vest, I'm gonna put them in my drop bags. I was also thinking about putting my extra layers in a drop bag. Some veteran runners have told me it gets pretty cold at night. And when you run into the night, it's nice to have an extra layer. Timing that with a drop bag might be kind of hard. If I show up too late, I might be a little cold already. If I show up too early, I'm carrying that extra layer somehow. So it might just ride in my vest the whole time. I don't know. That's the other thing. Initially, I thought I was gonna bring this guy and just use a handheld because the Vermont 100 has a ton of aid stations. So you don't really need much. I mean, you just need to carry water from point to point. And this would be big enough to hold some gels and junk. But as I thought further into it, the extra layers, maybe a battery pack for my phone. I'm gonna bring my Garmin InReach so I can contact my wife if there's no cell service. All these little things would be kind of fiddly to put in my handheld, in my pockets. So I think I decided I'm gonna wear this. This is the Solomon Advanced Skin Set vest. Instead of getting too nitty gritty with all the gear I'm gonna bring, I think I'm gonna make that an entirely separate video, so make sure you look for that in the future. So I think I'm gonna try to pump out at least 2 more videos before the race coming up, and then 1 video after the race as a follow-up. I'm hoping I can capture lots of footage on race day, but there's no promises. Whatever I do capture, I will be sure to share, even if I throw up. Is that something you wanna see? Comment below. And I'd also like to hear from you guys. What do you do when you've only got a couple weeks left before your race? Do you taper? Do you take time off? Do you watch Netflix? Do you drink pickle juice? Do you eat pizza? I don't know. People do all kinds of stuff. Anyways, give this video a big thumbs up if you thought it was helpful or entertaining in the least. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell down below so you don't miss the other videos that I've got coming up. That's all I got for today. See you in the next one. Smash, you can still see me.